How you all doing this morning? Feel a whole lot warmer? Yeah. Throw it out. Praise God. God is only God could give you minus 40 on one day and 40 the next. Amen. Thank God. Thank you for opening us up. Minister Perry, good to see all of you on this morning. We're continuing in our curriculum, if you will, 10 Secrets to Life's Biggest Challenges, how you can prepare for a better tomorrow. Today we're dealing with Challenge 2. We're dealing with Overcoming Temptations Part 2. Okay? Awesome lesson today. Today what we're going to do, Sister Petrie, is we're going to look at the temptation process. Okay? The temptation process. And a process is an arranged order of steps that leads to a specific end. Okay? So we're going to look at the process. The 76ers said, trust the process. They tanked a couple years and got some things. They had a process, but it was arranged in order. So it wasn't just a chaotic thing. They was actually doing that on purpose to follow the process to get them to where they believe they are okay now with their own version, if you will, of the big three. So it's an arranged order of steps that should lead to a specific end. Now that specific end could be bad or good. That's just dependent on the steps you take and dependent on the process that you are in. So we're going to look at the temptation process on today, okay? When we examine how Adam and Eve were tempted, it helps us to understand the temptation process, again, that word process, and our own struggles. The steps that we're going to take a look at, that's going to be listed on our paper, they concern, if you read the book, the hunger drive, but the same principle applies to all the drives that's in us, okay? Step 1 talks about our hunger drive. You know, you need to eat to stay alive, obviously, okay? So our hunger drive. Our hunger drive, what it does is it craves food, and obviously it's designed to do that. God could have created Adam and Eve without a need to eat. He could have. Glory, if he wanted to, he could have said, well, y'all don't need to eat. And then we wouldn't have had a need to eat. But he didn't do that. He could have created them, Adam, without a need to eat, which would have kept him from eating the forbidden fruit. Instead, the Lord gave him a mouth, a stomach, and a hunger drive. God gave it to him. That's the way he designed him. Okay? The hunger drive caused him to want to eat and to look for a way to fulfill his appetite. Rosa, God did that. And nothing sinful about wanting to eat. You need to eat to stay alive. Okay? Nothing sinful about that. But then the Lord placed Adam in the garden filled with trees bearing fruit so that Adam could satisfy his craving. So he gave him the craving, and then Odessa, he put him in a place where he could satisfy the craving. Because I put it there. It would have been unfair for him to put a craving into him for something and then give him the way to do to something. Okay? That wouldn't have made any sense at all. So the fruit from those trees would be, Andrew, the legitimate way for Adam to fulfill his hunger. The legitimate way. That's going to come back up again. Watch what the verses say. You got the...
Yes.
You're a pair? Okay, go ahead.
And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat.
Now, it said, he commanded the man. You know what a command is? You know, it's not a suggestion. He commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden, every tree, you can eat, freely eat. Every tree. But now watch verse 17.
But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die. So watch this.
God placed the tree of knowledge of good and evil in the garden and then commanded Adam and Eve not to eat from it. Now y'all know us, every parent, every kid, when your parents said, don't do this, Sharon, where you going? Right where they told you don't go. Yeah, they used to get us down there. We got like new shoes once a year. We didn't get like once a week like these kids. Once a year. And they was on the way out of the grocery store hanging on a pipe on a string. Am I telling you? Them what were PF Flyer, whatever they were? Yeah, they was hanging like right in the, now where they got the candy, they had shoes back then. It was like $1.99 or $2. I don't know what. You know, they had some kind of cloth in the bottom. That's what the strings. You know. So we got one pair of shoes, and then when you got up to get the pro kids, because see, we thought getting Canvas All-Stars, we thought we was Bill Russell and Dr. J. That was back then. Yeah, you was loaded. You know, and them shoes, I don't care what nobody said, you can climb up a slide, you could grip, you'd stop on with all that rubber on the bottom. Yeah. So when the shoes got more expensive, Mom and Daddy would say, now don't you go, I better not find a piece of mud or dirt. We go straight to they commanded us. Now you can go everywhere except the mud puddle. All we heard was mud puddle. Yeah, because see, you ain't getting another pair until next year. If need be, you'd cut the foot out the front, and your toes would just be hanging there. Mike, ain't nobody had all that money to be getting you. You got 6 other kids, 5 other kids. Like, you gonna, well, it'll be next year. And you get some more. Yeah. Wintertime, all this stuff, we had ways of insulating. Y'all remember the bread bag they put over you, keep your feet dry? You know what I'm talking about, Miss Clay? They'd put, man, don't throw that bread bag away. What? Stick that down in them, and I tell you what, your feet wouldn't be wet though, would they? We are sophisticated now, you know. I would never do that to that's because you don't have to. Yeah, so he said, you can eat from all of this, but don't eat from that one. That's what he told them, okay? So God put him there. So he said, the fruit on that tree is forbidden and it's off limits. Please don't tell us something forbidden and off limits, because we're going to push that limit. God prohibited them from fulfilling their hunger drive by eating from this tree. So what it is, Sister Leo, temptation is trying to fulfill a legitimate need in an illegitimate way. The need is real. It is, but don't fulfill it in an illegitimate way. You know, my kids need shoes. I got to pay my rent. That's a legitimate need. I need money, but he didn't say, okay, Timothy, now go rob somebody. Well, that's an illegitimate way to get my legitimate need met. So we can't do that. It is attempting to fulfill our needs and desires in ways that God does not sanction. God didn't sanction robbery and stealing and all that stuff. He didn't sanction that. So Satan attacked Jesus through his hunger drive when he tempted him in the wilderness. Watch Matthew 4, 1 through 3. Read that for me, Dr. Matthews.
Then was Jesus led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil.
Now, keep that there for a minute, Nicole, for me. It said Jesus was, first of all, he was led up. And then if you read Mark, it say the Spirit drove him. The point I'm making down there is Jesus wasn't just walking and say, you know what, man, I'm about to just go fight the devil. He didn't do that. He said he was led up by the Spirit. We get led up by the flesh because we think we're strong. Oh man, I'm gonna go to this party. I know they drinking and stuff. It ain't gonna hurt me. Okay. And then you end up getting drunk, shot, or overdosed, or whatever. No. You went thinking you could handle it. You can't handle it. It said he was led up of the Spirit into the wilderness. So even Jesus didn't just go on his own. Talking about, I'm just about to go pick on the devil. He didn't do that. He was led up. Okay? Watch this.
And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungry.
Now again, we can't even imagine. You're talking about a whole month and 10 days that you ain't ate. We get like hungry 40 minutes after we've eaten. He went 40 days. That's a long time. And the Bible said, Carmen, he was hungry. Now watch verse 3.
And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread.
Now, once again, he did not say, if you are, as in disbelief. What he was saying was, since you are, you need to command that these stones be made bread. Now, notice, Jesus was hungry. The devil didn't offer him a car. But what are you going to do with that? That's not what he needed. That's not where that drive was. He was hungry, so the devil said, let me tempt him in the area of food. You see, you have to, it's not a test or an option if you don't like what they presenting. A real Muslim, not Spike Lee in the movie, a real Muslim, you can't tempt him with a white woman. No, I'm serious. They don't do that. You can't tempt the white supremacist with a sister. Not a real one. Confederate flag. No, they don't want that. So it's not, I don't smoke weed, so coming to my Reverend, hit this, that's not a temptation. I don't smoke weed. You know, but if you bring a pork chop and a Pepsi with some ice, I gotta decide. Yeah, I don't smoke, so you can't tempt me with a cigarette. You follow me? I don't want that. So Satan, he's not omniscient, but he does know what you like. So if your idea of a man is 6'3", broad shoulders and 250, all this, he ain't gonna bring nobody to you 5'7". You don't want him. You know, if your idea of a woman is 5'9", 5'10", hair flowing to the ground, somebody, you know, 176, he ain't gonna bring nobody weigh 288. You follow? That's not a temptation. Like, I don't do that anyway. You follow me? So he didn't tempt Jesus with something that Jesus didn't want. Mike, he came with something he knew he wanted. Like, he ain't ate in 40 days. I know he hungry. Okay? So we got to be careful and realize that it's the stuff that he know that you want and that he know that you like and he know that's your size. Okay? The devil suggested to Jesus that he should fulfill his hunger drive by using his God-given powers, even if it meant disobeying his father. That's all he wanted to do in the first place, Jimmy. He said, use your powers. That's why he said, if you are, not since you are. He said, you can do that. You can command these stones be bread. Okay? Jesus knew he had the power to do it because he did his first miracle by rearranging the molecules in the water and make it into wine. So he knew he could do it. He knew he could. The Father, however, never told him to change the stones into bread, so it would have been an illegal way for him to satisfy his hunger. He knew he could do it, and the devil knew he could do it. And that's the test. See, we a lot of times we say stuff and do stuff based on what we know we can't do. Could you imagine having the power to do it? That's what a test is. Like I said, I think a couple weeks ago, a young lady was saying it was a struggle for her because her son wanted some shoes and stuff, and they didn't have the finances to buy it. I said, well, there wasn't no struggle. She said, what do you mean? I said, could you afford it? She said, no. Well, what's the struggle? You don't have any money. I said, the struggle is when you have it, because now you got a choice to make. You don't have a choice now because you don't have the money. So all you got to do is tell the kid, as much as they cry, whatever, honey, I love you to death. Mama can't afford that. That's not a choice. But when you got the money and they go, you know, it's like Fred Sanford and Son. Y'all remember? Bubba asked Fred for $5 one day. You know Bubba. And this is what Fred said. He said, Bubba, you caught me at a bad time. I got it. He didn't want to give it to him. Yeah, he didn't lie like us and say I don't have it. He said, oh, I have it. I just don't want to come off of it. So when you don't have it, it's real easy. The problem is when you have it. So Jesus literally could have did what was requested. In fact, he didn't need the devil. He could have just 40 days ate what he wanted to do, you know, but he didn't do it. Okay? So step one is our hunger drive. It craves food. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as we meet that need in a legitimate way. Secondly, step two is, remember, we're talking about the process. We're talking about an arranged order of steps that leads to a specific end. Number two, we decide to examine the forbidden fruit. Yeah, you leave it alone. Remember I told you before, Andrew, Samson, it wasn't the bees that stung Samson. It was the honey. We thought the bees did it. No, the bees didn't sting him. That honey stung him. Watch this. When did the temptation begin for Adam and Eve? It did not begin when they were at the tree looking at the fruit. The temptation began when they decided to go to the middle of the garden to look at it. Donnell, I ain't going to touch nobody. I ain't going to rape nobody. I'm just going to the strip club just to see what everybody been saying about it. I heard that, y'all know us, I heard they got good food in the strip. Good food in the strip club? So people going, you hear that? People going to the strip club to eat. Now come on, yeah, y'all must, I mean, we ain't just woke up yesterday. And you know the food ain't clean and sanitary. Everybody up there shaking. You don't know who the girls is. You don't know who they done came from. And Nicole and I know somebody, when you get too close, some stuff will jump off of them. I don't think you're going to the strip club to eat, because there's a cover charge that they said. I don't know. I ain't never been. But I know you don't get in free. And you're going to eat. Yeah, they got good baked potatoes, man, at them strip clubs. The mistake was, Amanda, when they began to look at the fruit. Now, I'm getting ready to give you some scriptures here, and y'all can agree with me with this. Listen, your taste buds are in your eyes, not your mouth. You can have some food. When you don't recognize something, and my wife can tell you, if I don't recognize something, if I got to ask you a question what that is, I'm not eating it. Like, what is that? Why I have to ask? It should be apparent what it is. And you can have food all mashed up. It could be, and it can have the best taste, but you would never get to it because you said, I ain't eating that. And then something can look so pretty, and you taste it, and you spit it out like, ooh, that's nasty. But you know why you tasted it? It looked good. Your taste buds is in your eyes, right? Watch this. A few scriptures here. Did you get these last night, sweetie? Nicole? Genesis chapter 3, verse 6. I'm going to just run you through a few of them. And the point I'm making, because it said we decide to examine the forbidden fruit, okay? I just want to see what everybody else doing. Yeah, that's where you went. All right. We decide to examine the forbidden fruit. Your taste bud is in your eyes. Watch this, Sister Leo. Go ahead, Dr. Matthew.
And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food.
Wait a minute. What did she do? She saw. She ain't touched it. She ain't never tasted it. She ain't never had it. What did she do, Sister Val? She saw her taste buds. She saw that the tree was good for food.
And that it was pleasant to the eyes.
Oh, it looked good. This is Marlene. It looked good. I'm going to get to the good looking stuff. Because some good looking stuff can get you in trouble. Whole lot of your PIN numbers and your account is gone because he looked good. No, I'm serious. She saw it. It was pleasant to the eyes.
And a tree to be desired to make one wise.
Watch this.
She took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
Odessa, this started with her eyes, not her mouth. It started with her eyes. Not the taste buds here, the taste buds here, in the eyes. All right? 2 Samuel, while we're in Genesis 34, 1 and 2.
And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land.
What's number 2?
And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, the prince of the country, saw her.
He saw her. And his eyes. He tasted her. Watch this, Darius.
He took her.
But he saw her first. He took her and lay with her and defiled her. And it started with his eyes. You see that, Kara? He saw her. It's right there. I'm telling you, your appetite in your eyes. 2 Samuel 11, 1 through 3. Watch this.
And it came to pass, after the year was expired, at the time when kings go forth to battle, that David sent Joab and his servants with him, and all Israel, and they destroyed the children of Ammon and besieged Rabbah.
Now watch this.
But David tarried still at Jerusalem.
Watch this.
And it came to pass in an eventide that David arose from off his bed.
He got up from the bed.
And walked upon the roof of the king's house.
Walked out on the house.
And from the roof he saw a woman washing herself.
Stop right there. He saw a woman washing herself. And then the text, now they didn't even have to put the next part in, but David wanted us to have some sympathy for him. He said, and the woman was very beautiful to look upon. Look at the verse. Max, see this in there. He saw a woman washing, and she was very beautiful to look at. He saw her washing. Now, he could have saw her washing, and depending how he goes, oh my God, pull that shade down. He didn't say that. He said, pull that shade up some more. That body reminded me of a highway between Fort Wayne and Dallas, a lot of curves. He said, oh, Lord Jesus. It says she was beautiful to look on. Because now y'all do know, we all adults, right? Everything naked ain't beautiful to look on. Yeah, am I right, Rose? So she was beautiful to look on. Yeah. She was 16.9 ounce. You know how that Coke bottle, she wasn't 2 liter. 16.9. She was very beautiful to look at. Watch what happened.
And David sent and inquired after the woman. And one said, is not this Bathsheba and the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite?
He didn't care who she belonged to. I'm the king. She naked. She looked good. Get her. That's what he said. His eye, he tasted her, for he got her. He saw Sharon. His eyes beheld. I'm telling y'all, you taste with your eyes. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Judges chapter 14, verse 1 and 2. Watch this.
And Samson went down to Timnath.
Timnath, Wine Valley, Wine Valley. Women and wine don't mix, y'all. Timnath, I'm serious. I mean Wine Valley. Don't start drinking wine getting with a woman. Don't do it. It ain't going to come up right. Watch what he did.
And saw a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines.
He saw a woman of Timnath of the daughter of the Philistines. He knew they were enemies. He knew they wasn't no good. He knew they were ungodly. But he saw a shape that all that went out the window. Samson, you can't date her. She don't go to church. Samson said, Mama, I ain't interested in her for church. What's wrong with you, Mama? No, ain't that kind of thing. Watch this. Go ahead.
And he came up and told his father and his mother.
Watch this. Watch what he told them. He gonna say it.
I have seen a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines.
Watch this, Dre.
Now therefore get her for me to wife.
Now let me tell you how your eyes do. He don't know nothing about her attitude. He don't know if she can cook, if she can sew, if she can raise. He said, I want her to be my. All he saw was a body and said, I want her to be my wife. No, you don't. You just want to sleep with her. You don't even know her. You don't know if she's dumb, retarded, stupid. He saw that shape and said, I want her to be my wife. Are you serious? A wife? Or all you did was see the girl? You don't know if the body part's real. You know the movie. I'm going to get you when the lady took all the stuff off, Ann Johnson. Hip come off, head come off. All he saw was a body and said, whoa, wait, that's going to be my wife. Serious, Samson. Serious. Watch this. But he looking through his eyes, y'all. I'm telling you. Watch Judges chapter 16, verse 1. Now that's one woman. Watch another one. Watch this.
Then went Samson to Gaza and saw there an harlot and went unto her.
Now he sees again. Now at least the other lady was upright. This said she was a harlot. She was a whore, prostitute, hooker, whatever you want to call it. That's what she was. It's right there, a harlot. Y'all know what a harlot is. She was walking on Southwest Capitol. She was not selling candy bars. Her name may have been Candy Bar, nickname, but that ain't what she was selling. No, the text says she was a harlot. I'm not making, look at it. Y'all know a harlot is a prostitute. They pay people for sex. He saw her and went into her. He knew she was a prostitute. It's right there in the text. Watch Judges 16:21. He knew she wasn't no good. Watch this.
So the Philistines captured him and gouged out his eyes.
Ooh, they gouged out his eyes.
They took him to Gaza.
Isn't it amazing? Watch this.
Where he was bound.
No, you good. I just wanted to. They captured him and God allowed them to take out his eyes. God allowed them to take out his eyes. What God did, and Mr. Perry just said it, and he didn't even know I had it written down on my paper. That show you the spirit. God allowed them to take away his appetite. He allowed him to take his eyes out, because that's where all the sin came through. He said, oh no, I got to do something with this boy's appetite. And then once he took his appetite, eyes away, then if you read further, now he's actually hungering and thirsting for God in his prayer. He wasn't doing that when he had his two eyes. God allowed them to take his appetite away. Job 31:1.
I made a covenant with mine eyes. Why then should I think upon a maid?
Now look, he said, now look, I made a covenant with my eyes, like, because I know they can get me in trouble. You see it? I made a covenant with them, Sister Olive. Why should I think upon a maid? A maid is a virgin. It was so bad, he said, I had to make a covenant with my eyes. Y'all know how many folk need to make a covenant with their eyes? Because we still got appetite. Now, fairly so, but y'all know how the eyes is. I've never heard a person say, I am going to look for a potential husband or wife, and I don't care how they look. Now, we don't do this, but you've seen movies and people say, you know, well, man, I'm going out with my girl and she got a girl or she got a sister and she want to know if you, my boy, go out. Now, we start asking questions. Yeah. And the first thing, and I'm going to just tell you the truth, and me and Dre, we didn't been there 67. First thing, how she look? If you start off talking about she got a good personality, no, heck no. I know what that means. I ain't asked you about her personality. How she look? Oh man, she's so nice. Okay, nope. No, I'm serious. You told me everything I need to know. I asked you how she look. You talking about she nice. Okay. No, I ain't going. And don't try to trick me. Don't show me, because see, we got more street sense than that. Don't show me a picture of her, because you got that off something else, and then I show up and she look like this. Because we'll walk away from like, is that? Don't show me no picture of this. Now, they didn't went and got the picture of Miss Columbia and then show up, and somebody show up look like Columbia. You remember Friday, the lady told the boy that she looked like Janet Jackson. He said, no, you look like Freddie Jackson. Y'all remember Friday? Jim, you ain't seen Friday. Please don't tell me you seen Friday. Yeah. Chris Tucker told that lady, said, no, you. She said, let me go to work with you, your mom. He said, no, my mama don't like it when I bring a lot of people. It was just one of them, Rosie. But serious, men, women, tell the truth. You don't just wake up talking about, I don't care how my spouse look. Yes, you do. Listen, it don't care what nobody else thinks. You think they look good. Yeah, now as long as you think, but rarely do people say, yeah, I know, child, he missing a couple of teeth and ugly and snag a tooth, but he nice. They don't say that. Man, cringy, am I telling the truth? You don't look for somebody that you don't think look good. It's just tell the truth. And one way that he don't think you look good is when all y'all activity is in the house. Let's go to the mall. No, I don't do shopping. I don't go to the mall. We got online now. Let's shop online. Well, let's go get something to eat. No, they got you Grubhub. You don't want to go nowhere with her. But if she fine, you make up places to go. Ain't got no money. You want to go to the mall and show her off to all your boys. You go to a basketball game and you walk in and you're holding hands, you're smiling, and it take you 20 minutes to sit down and there's 100 seats. You want everybody in there to know who you with. because he or she look good to you. I'm telling you, we taste with our eyes, and y'all know I'm telling the truth. Temptation starts when we make the first steps, bruh, stand back, to examine the forbidden fruit. Instead of just leaving. E.V. Hill said, if you can't run, faint. But I had to tell folk, you be careful who you faint around. Because some folk nasty. You've been fainting and woke up, you're like, whoa, where am I? I thought you fainted. I was trying to get you mouth to mouth. No, that ain't what you was trying to do. Listen, Garland, the alcoholic enters temptation when he decides to go to the bar, not when he arrives. It's already over with. If you're an alcoholic and decide to go to the bar, it's over. It ain't over when you get in. It's over when you decide it. It's over. The temptation begins when you make the decision to do something, here you go, that God forbids. So it's not when you went up to the bar and sat on the bar stool. No. You was over when you decided to go. That was a wrap. Hook, line, and sinker. Okay? Look again at Matthew 6:13. Put that up there for me, sweetie. Dr. Matthews, read that.
And lead us not into temptation.
Yeah, lead us not. Remember, I told you I saw a license plate said, lead us not into temptation, for I can find it myself. Like, I don't need you to lead me. I know what that is. Look what the verse says. Jesus is teaching them how to pray right there. And he says, what?
But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. So then, Angela, this means that temptation covers an area that can be entered into. It can be entered into. Okay? Look again at what Jesus said in the Garden of Gethsemane. Watch Matthew 26:41. Watch and pray.
Now watch and pray.
That ye enter not into temptation.
So you need to watch, glorious, and then you need to pray, what? That you enter not in temptation. So it's something that can be entered into. Watch and pray. See, we be watching with the eye part and forget the praying part.
The Spirit.
And because I've been watching, Mike, that's why I'm in there. Yeah, watch and pray, what? That you enter not into temptation. He said, go ahead, Dr. Matthews.
The spirit indeed is willing.
The spirit is willing, Albert, but it's that flesh stuff.
But the flesh.
That's what's hanging me up. The spirit is there. I done been to Sunday school. I done been to Bible study. I done been to church. I done been slayed in the spirit. But that flesh is going, you know, you still flesh. The spirit is willing down there, but the flesh is looking through the eyes going, yeah, but he look good. Yeah, but she look good. Yeah, but that Brinks truck. That dude didn't try to do D&W last night in Kalamazoo. He tried to rob them, the store, dropped the gun, and they ran somewhere. They called him and got him. It looked good. The flesh said, ooh, you got the gun, you got the stuff, you can rob them, you can get what? What they got in the cash register? $50? They ain't got the money right there. I mean, they put it down. So what you gonna get? You know? And then the dude escaped here, got caught in Lansing, and they said on the way to the jail, he in the hospital. Me and Nicole know what that means. Get your stupid. Yeah, I got to chase you. That'd be different, Miss Perry. He can't. It'd be different. Just surrender. I got to get scraped and do all that. Yeah, I don't know. I was putting him in the car, Sergeant, and I think his head must have hit the. I don't know how he got that. It just works best when you cooperate in anything. It could be just cooperate. Okay? Just cooperate. All right? We were saying that folk, Pastor Wilkerson and I, Dr. Moore, the other day we were talking about somebody that all y'all have seen on the news. All you got to do is if you caught in whatever you're doing, if anybody that, now I'm not saying they're just saying it to get away, but if you really say, look, I'm sorry, folk are forgiven. But it's when you're lying and arrogant and cocky that they don't forgive you. People forgive you if you say, okay, in 1984, man, my fault, I did that, it was stupid. So the governor apologizes for the blackface. Then the next day he said, oh, wait a minute, that wasn't even me. Well, what you apologized yesterday for? You see what I'm saying? If you just, I mean, seriously, look, man, now, all of us done something stupid. Don't act like you haven't. 1984, man, I'm young and dumb and whatever it is. Maybe not, but be honest. I ain't saying just say it to get away. People will forgive you. Maybe not everybody, but people forgive you. But it's when you just lying and won't come clean and just like, you know, he catch somebody. Now, he got the dope and he looking at it, got it. Man, that wasn't on me. Dude, I just took this out your pocket. No, I wasn't. The officer you was with put it in when you wasn't looking. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. So it's something you can be entered into, temptation, okay? The Greek word to go into something, watch this, it means to move from the outside to the inside. Like being on the outside of a house and going through a doorway to get inside. You enter into temptation through an entrance door. Let us all stop lying to me. I don't know how I got here. Yeah, you walked in. Right? It has an entrance door. When Adam and Eve were away from the tree, they were not being tempted by it. But when they took the first step toward the illegal tree, they went through the door of temptation and they entered it now. Something happens when you go through that door. And Sister Del, usually it ain't good. Because once you're in there, you in there. You know, if you get caught in a hen house, you might as well do everything in there, because if you don't do it and come out, we're going to say you did it. So if I'm in there, Rosie, I'm going to do everything that I can do, because y'all ain't going to believe me if I tell you I didn't. But the point is, I ain't going in there. You follow me? They're away from the tree, wasn't nothing there. They took that step. Something happened when you go through that door, y'all. Suddenly the power of the temptation starts pulling on you. Once you enter that area, you come under the influence of the temptation. Once you enter temptation, now it's a war started in there. Watch this. First Peter 2:11. Watch this. First Peter 2, there's a war. Watch this.
Living godly lives in a pagan society. Dear friends, I urge you as foreigners and exiles to abstain from sinful desires which wage war against your soul.
They waging a war now. The war didn't start. I didn't have to be in the war. But because I entered into it, now I'm being influenced by whatever it is that I entered. Whatever that activity is. Okay? So step 3. Not only we examine it, here it is. Now we done tasted the forbidden fruit. And now our eyes are open to it. It done got to the mouth now. All it was just in the eyes. Now it done got in here. I done tasted it. When Adam and Eve arrived at the middle of the garden, Satan was waiting for them. How did this rascal know to be waiting at the forbidden fruit? How you know that? Sister Shirley, how he just, I'm going to go where they're going to be. The devil knew that was the place where Adam and Eve could be tempted. And like I said with us, he knows what tempts us. He knows what you like. He knows what you don't like. He knows you don't smoke. I can't tempt him with smoking. He knows you don't drink. I can't tempt him with drinking. He knows you don't like German chocolate cake. It ain't no, I'm on a diet. I got something you don't like. Well, I don't eat that anyway. He knew. The moment Adam and Eve disobeyed God and tasted the forbidden fruit, the eyes of their souls were open to evil. Now they knew evil by experience because they did it. Once you have tasted a particular forbidden fruit, your eyes have been opened to it. You are much better off if your eyes are not opened up to some things. It's better if you don't even look at some things. Because once you look at it, yep. Number 4, step 4. Now we become addicted to the forbidden fruit. Oh, Lord. See, sin is fun at first. Nobody enters it. I mean, the first puff dre, boys, we high, we cool, we chilling. First, now you're strung out. Now you're an overdose. But the first hit was cool. I'm going to just try this. No, you're not going to try drugs. They don't let you try them and quit them. not drugs. It's fun at first, but remember I told you, sin will do three things, Mike. First of all, sin will carry you further than you want to go. Because I'm temporarily down, momentarily down. I just need to rebound. I need to get my player card back out, get my self-esteem. I'm going to just do this once. That's what you think. You do it once. So sin will carry you further than you want to go. Secondly, sin will hold you longer than you want to stay. Man, I ain't looking for no mate. We ain't going out. It was cold and lonely. I just thought about you. We ain't gonna be following me around. I mean, you showing up to my job and no, we ain't. That ain't. Let me put this clear that we ain't a couple. You know that. Well, what happened last night? Well, that was just last night. I don't even know what happened last night. You know I was drunk. Sin will carry you further than you want to go. Secondly, it'll hold you longer than you want to stay. And then thirdly, it'll charge you a price you can't pay. It's fun at first. Nobody enters sin going, okay, this is going to kill me. Because you wouldn't do it. It's fun. It's exciting. It's different. Yeah, it's fun at first. Don't you know a cat will play with a mouse before he kill it? It's fun. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. These little things, little start off pickpocket and stuff like that. Oh, that's fun. Doing this, doing that, that's fun. Now he's robbing a dollar store. No, I'm serious. But it was fun at first because you started at home and little play, jacking people in the neighborhood. It was fun. It was funny. Yeah. It was fun at first because we were shooting people with paintballs, and then all of a sudden they became bullets. But it was fun at first. It was fun at first. See, it satisfies a need for the moment, but the end result is what happens later. Satan always offers his best at the beginning, and after that, it goes downhill. The most delicious bite of the forbidden fruit is the first one. Oh, that thing tastes so good. I didn't understand. A couple years ago, I was talking to some of our members here, and one of them was hooked on drugs and obviously got off, turned their life around, all that stuff. And I'd never heard the term until these two people. One was a man, one was a woman. And they talked about chasing Jason. I said, Jason? I knew Jason from the movie. But I mean, chasing Jason. They was like trying to get that high, that first initial high. And you can't ever get it. But they say that's what you chase. Like, oh, that thing was so good. And see, the drug dealers know that. That's why they give you the hearse. Listen, I know I know people who sell drugs. I ain't hang out with them. But I got friends that do unshady stuff. Or shady stuff. I mean, I don't hang with them. I know, you know what I mean. And they tell me, I said, man, what? He said, you give him the first one free. First one or two, he hooked. And now he'll search you out from anybody. So you don't have to worry about, because I said, if everybody is selling it, how is people making money? He said, oh, no, they loyal. If you gave it to them, they coming to you. And he said, you give them the first two, and see, they know that's going to hook them. Like, here, man, what do I eat? Nothing, man, just take this. And now you're looking for me. They said, now you're crawling, looking for me, like, because I got to get that again. And he knows it. And then they say, oh, by the way, well, this one's $75. And he know you're about out of your mind. He know you will break in somebody's house to get it because he knows what the drug does. And that person is chasing that first high, initial high, and they ain't gonna never get it. Again, it's like the mule. You put a briar corn on him and tie it to him, and the mule thinks, if I walk long enough, I'm gonna catch up to it. He don't recognize that the thing is moving when he moves. So the person that's chasing Jason down there thinking, if one more time, I'm gonna get that original hit. No, you ain't. Now you're gonna get some hits, but it ain't gonna be that first one. It's going to go down and down and down. The most delicious bite of the forbidden fruit is the first one. And then we think the pleasure will continue with the second bite. Man, that thing was so good. Let me try that again to see if it was really that good. To see if it was just me. Let me just try that again. Okay, that's the second time. Okay, you didn't try it again. That's the second time. So you bite it the second time. Then you discover it's not quite as tasty as the first bite. So what do? We take a third bite. Then I'm serious. We bite it again. And what we're trying to experience the thrill of the first one. And then we keep taking more bites. We find that the enjoyment actually diminishes, but the compulsion to eat increases. You biting it and going, this ain't the same, but you keep biting it. Because now it has you, it's biting you. So before we know it, we're addicted to the forbidden fruit, which you keep admitting don't even taste the same. But now you're addicted to it. Now it's got you. Listen, y'all know this. All forbidden fruit has a hook inside of it. Not regular fruit. Ain't nothing wrong with regular fruit. Forbidden fruit. It has a hook inside. And there's something in the flesh that translates to our eyes where everything forbidden always looks good and better than if it was not forbidden. Watch this, going back to Adam and Eve. Watch this. Adam did not sin because he was hungry. He didn't sin because he was hungry. Nicole, put Genesis 2:16 back up there for me, if you will. Adam did not sin because he was hungry. Watch verse 16. Read that, Dr. Matthews.
And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat.
He did not sin because he was hungry. God just said, man, you can eat from all. You got 1,000,000 trees in here that's bidden, and you got one that's forbidden. So he didn't eat of that tree because he was hungry. He had 700,613 trees to eat from. Now, I didn't count them. I just put that number out there. But what happened? His eyes drew him to the one that God said, you can't have that one. So, Jimmy, it wasn't that he was hungry. He wanted something from the tree he wasn't supposed to eat from. Same fruit. God didn't have stuff dangling on that one that wasn't on the other one. The point was, he said, don't eat from it. So now that apple looks better. And then we start justifying in our minds, that's a Honeycrisp apple. All of them the same, but I'm justifying it because he said, don't touch that one. Must be, why are you telling me that? So he wasn't hungry because he had every tree in the world to eat from. But his eyes went, every piece of forbidden fruit, if it ain't got a hook in it, it got a worm in it down there. Forbidden fruit. Now, I ain't talking about regular fruit that ain't forbidden. Every piece of fruit got forbidden fruit got a hook inside. Listen, when a fisherman goes fishing, he is trying to deceive the fish into thinking that it's getting a free meal. Put that little worm, night crawler, whatever. People use all kind of things, man. I went with some guys, they was using crickets and roaches and spiders. I'm like, y'all nasty. They call me the Yeah, exactly. It does. It depends on what you're fishing for. Because, you know, the fish by now know, like, they done seen worms. They're like, psh, he keep on going. Like, I done been to fish school. I ain't that dumb. I ain't going to bite that thing. But they do, man. They use everything. And as you said, depending on what you fishing for. Because fish, just like human beings, they like certain stuff too. Certain stuff don't tempt the fish. Certain bait, they be like, psh. We learned that in like kiddie pool thing, that's fake. So they even know. But it is something that all of them will bite. That's why they use the different things, you know. I'm talking about crickets that move and stuff. I ain't talking about dead ones. They putting their hands in there and doing all this stuff and putting the fish on the thing, and then they open a jar of meat pickles and put the hand in and then talking about, you want one? No! I've been out here with y'all touching all this. Ain't no wet naps on the boat. And y'all going to, and you taking fish off the hook, talking about, do you want? No, I ain't eating nothing. I'm out there starving. I got home. I was blacker than Miles Davis. I'm on that water. I say, I ain't going fishing no more. I'm going to the corner where they already dead and say, give me 3 pieces and some fries. That's my fishing. People tell me, it's so relaxing. I can relax on the couch watching Gunsmoke. I don't need to go fishing. Go, give me a Gunsmoke, give me Big Valley, I'm good. I can relax. Andy Griffin, I'm good. I'm good. But with the fisherman, the fish thinks he's getting a free meal. When a fish bites on a juicy worm, he does not realize that there's a hook inside of it. There's a hook in there. There's a hook. Hooks grab you. There's a hook. The next thing he knows, Mike, he is being pulled out of the water, and he can't breathe out of the water. No, I'm serious. He's being pulled out of his element because he thought he was getting a free meal. We get pulled out of our elements when we think of whatever it is you're fishing for, that it could be the lottery, it could be whatever it is. We get pulled out, and then we start suffocating because we have gotten pulled out of our element, and now we then entered into temptation. And the air is different in there than outside of there. So the fish, number one, gets pulled out of water. And then you seen that commercial where they on land and they doing like this, plop, 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 plop. He's getting pulled out of the water. He flops around in vain trying to get back into the water. Soon he is sizzling in the frying pan. And then finally he end up in Deacon Henry's stomach. Catfish. That's what y'all eat, catfish. With hot sauce? Ali Freeman say hot sauce. And you said a particular kind of hot sauce, didn't you? Frank's hot sauce. That's all you probably got a little jar in your purse, don't you? No? Okay. Yeah. I know it. I wasn't going to call out, but yeah, I wasn't going to call out. Hopefully everybody didn't hear him. But that's good to have because that come in handy. Like we be laughing at him, then we be simply like, can you go in your purse? Yeah, because we do Frank's hot sauce. We do Frank's, like, you know, Frank's. Had Tabasco and Lil Pete and Lil Louie and all that. Like, nah, I need to call that. I just call. Hey, Tommy, let me speak to Odessa. Odessa, can you run that over here? I'm at Captain Louis. Yeah, we carry syrup and everything. And we do. We carry it. Had that. Pete be laughing at you till the food come. Then, pass me some. You know, but we do it cool and like pretty, you know, neat. Like we don't have a whole bottle. Like some of y'all, you know, just you don't know what's in there. It look like cough syrup, anything, and you just, you know, that's how you do. You know, like some of y'all go to the movie. That's where they kicked us out. Go to the movies, got chicken all over the bag, all greasy. People sneaking 2 liters in under their thing. They come in there like you supposed to buy food at the concession stand. We done got bad. Who got the biscuit? And yelling too. You know, usually you're quiet with. Who got the biscuit? Pass that down here. Sir, you can't eat in here. Then we want to jump on the 18-year-old attendant, scare them half to death. They're in there eating. There's something called chitterlings. There's something that... Remember Tony Collins told, no, a friend of ours on a plane, black folk eating them on the, he said the plane stank. Everybody looking around like, what? Let's go. He looked back there, Mike, they got a plate of chitlins on an airplane. You know how compact that plane is? They going, people like, what is that? He turned around, chitlins with hot sauce on a plane. Like, please, y'all, please, just please, not them. I mean, not. Yep. When that fish was underwater lusting after that worm, he never dreamed he would be eaten up as a meal. He didn't. When you saw fine sister girl, when you saw Delilah, when you saw that fine woman, you didn't never know you'd end up with a disease because it looked good. And surely something looked that good can't be that bad. Now you're taking shots before you get up, shots to go to bed. Because it looked good. My eyes got me. My eyes got me. And you better have some good eyes today. Because what you think a woman, you better have some good eyes today. You bet, man. I said, ma'am, look, I ain't trying to be forward, but I gotta check your throat. I got an Adam's apple check. Let me check you. Yeah, because this, you can't tell no more, Mike. Looking at him, you boy, you ain't not no more. No, Lord, you don't know who you. No, yeah. People used to ask if you got a job. Now they say, I need to see your health card. You see, let me go to your. What's your MyChart password? I need to see what. Yeah, Lord, are you? Not now. No, Lord, it's got to be scary to date now. I mean, it's not that it was. I mean, but it just. Oh my goodness. Oh Jesus. I mean, even if you date, I don't know what people call it no more, but oh my goodness. Whew. You know, used to you could tell they coming around. That's a woman. That's a man. You not no more. No, Lord, you got to hold them under the light to take them to get a physical and going through all that. Nah, but you never dreamed that would happen. Look, don't be fooled by the lights, y'all. The shine or the beauty. Because most of us, and let's be honest, most of us are not attracted to anything that we don't think look good. It could be a car. It could be a meal. It could be a house. I don't care what the object is. It's not attracted to you if you don't think it looks good. I don't care what it is. It could be man, that car ugly. What's ugly to you, but then that ugly car to you, somebody bought it. So it wasn't ugly to them. But I'm saying, we don't purchase or we're not attracted to anything that we don't think looks good to us. Now, maybe somebody else's thing. I heard Matthew said, I think when I first got here, I don't know what he was talking about, but I think I do know, I just can't tell you. But he was saying, and it was jokingly, he said, this guy's definition of a 10 is 5 twos. you know, one person said, no, I want the perfect 10. You got them brothers like, give me 5 twos. And then you got them brothers I know like, give me 10 ones. That's the definition of a 10. So the point is, you're not attracted to anything that's not attracted to you. But now, the beauty, the lights, the shine, that's where it gets you. Now, you might find out later, you know, it'd take her an hour and a half to watch 60 Minutes, but you don't find that out by looking at her. I'll give you all a second to hour and a half to watch 60 Minutes, you got it? Some of y'all are the ones who I was talking about. Take an hour and a half. Okay. I'm just kidding. See there? I knew you were, oh, Glo, I didn't think you was going to get it to 11. You're doing fine. You got it now? Okay. You growing, girl. So you did. What you do? You lift your helmet outside today? I had to get it. She know I love her to death. I abuse her publicly. I talk about her to... That's my sweetheart. I mess with Glo. Me and Glo tight. We like, that's my girl. She know I'm just kidding with her, obviously. She know it. That's why she don't pay me no mind. She think I'm crazy. Don't be fooled by the lights to shine on the beauty. All temptations are traps. When we had that big old hedgehog, or that thing in the tray, that thing was bigger than me and you, in front of y'all classroom. Tommy and them brought that thing, bam. Got him. Break their neck or snap him up. That thing was like walking up to the window. He looking in the classroom. Huge. I'm serious. He just would walk right up there. And then there was another one that was out here going under that little wooden thing. A big, nasty thing. But they put that trap there. And then snap. Break his neck. That's what you have to do. Shoot him or do something. And then you bury him. Or I don't know what they do with him. But he dead. He ain't gonna be looking at the window no more. What y'all teaching? He looking in the window. At least he was Baptist, because every Sunday he walk up to that window. He like, I think one day he tried to slide his tithes and offering in. They wouldn't open the window. All that teaching y'all doing, all that stuff I'm meeting around here, that thing was fat and big and nasty looking. But the point I'm getting at is the trap broke his neck. Satan's traps, they look good. But Dr. Matthew, when we go in, they break our necks. And you know, when your neck breaks, you're breathing, and you know what happens from there. So all temptations are traps. But here's the beauty of it. Even in the temptation, there is an escape if you want one. We're going to end with 2 Corinthians 10:13.
There hath no temptation taken you but such as is common to man.
So once again, you ain't the only one going through it. I don't care what it is. If it's drugs, sex, rock and roll, whatever your thing. Now listen, everybody has a thing. Everybody think it's different, but everybody have one. Okay? Because if we didn't, this verse wouldn't be here. Yours may not be mine, but I got one, you got one, everybody got one. Now they're different. There has nothing taken you but such as common to man. In other words, you ain't the only one going through this. But watch what God will do.
But God is faithful.
God is faithful. Didn't say I was. Perry was. God is faithful. Who will, watch this.
Who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able.
Now watch the next line.
But will with the temptation.
Stop right there. But will with the temptation. With the temptation. He makes a way of escape with the temptation. With it. He uses that very thing that makes you weak, what God does, Gloria, he takes that very thing and make you strong. By the same thing that's make you weak, he takes that and makes you strong by it. But now that happens, again, there's a process. You get built up, you get strengthened up. I mean, you can't have no word and talking about, okay, I'm about to, no, you about to get toe up is what you about to. You about to be that fish in a skillet with grease on him. You have to be built up. That's why the process, the Sunday school, all that stuff, the studying, the praying, all that stuff. Because listen, any outcome that you enter, the outcome is already, you've already made, whether you're going to pass or fail, it's already happened. Because you made the decision before you got into it. If you get into something talking about, I'm going to decide now, it's over. You decide before you get there. Before he got to the party, he decided, man, I ain't drinking. I ain't doing that. I ain't smoking. That was already decided. So when somebody came to him about, you want to do this? It wasn't no vacillating like, well, nah, dude, I'm good. And they go on, leave you alone. And your friends, people, when they see you don't do that, they actually respect you. They won't offer to you. And if somebody else does, they'll start policing him like, man, he don't do that, man. Leave him alone. But you decided before you got there. You didn't go like, okay, let me hold the joint. Let me just see. Let me see what it smell like lit. No, you in trouble. No, I don't do that. Or I ain't even going there. You see what I'm saying? My point is, you decide beforehand. You decide. And unfortunately, we're the same way in church because most of us have a preset limit of what we're going to do. I'm going to do this. I ain't doing no more. I'm going to get this 10%. In fact, I'm going to cut that to 9.5 and 3/4. I ain't giving them no more. You got a preset limit on what you're going to do. And the same way with temptation, we know what we're going to do before it counters, but you know now what you will do if something happened. You might not tell nobody, but you know what you will do. You know if you'll be Joseph and run away, or you know if you'll be Samson until I come in. You know now what you'll do. Yep, you just ain't revealed it to nobody, and you shouldn't. Okay? Father God, we thank you for another expression of your goodness. Thank you for your revealed word. Thank you that you showed us, dear Father, how we can overcome those temptations. We thank you for giving us drives, but yet providing legitimate ways for us to meet those drives instead of in an illegitimate way. We thank you, dear Father, that shows us what happened when we decide to examine the fruit. We look in our eyes and then we taste the fruit and then it becomes addicted and addictive. We thank you, and I pray that we would recognize all of the many trees which we can eat from, and that our eyes would not be zeroed in on the one we cannot eat from. Continue to give us the strength. We end it, dear Father, on a precious promise. You said with the temptation, you will make a way for escape. I pray that we would continue to build ourselves up in our most holy faith, that we would continue, Father, to not succumb to temptation. Galatians 5:16 says, walk in the Spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. We see that even Jesus was led by the Spirit, and may we be led of God. And if we led of God, we know that the will of God will take us nowhere where the grace of God cannot keep us. We thank you for all of your many blessings. May we be hearers of your word and doers of your holy word. In Jesus' name, amen.